Alrighty, let's get started. There we go. Cool. Well, happy Friday, everyone. Everyone's having a great Friday. I know I am. So, tonight, what are we doing? Well, tonight we're back on some AI development. So I had an idea just for something fun to do, because I feel like doing some fun stuff tonight. We're going to build ourselves a Twitch bot, but we're going to build ourselves a Twitch bot that connects to ChatGPT, or not ChatGPT, but GPT, using the Azure OpenAI service. So we're going to do this with .NET. I don't really know how to build a Twitch bot in .NET, so we're going to learn together. Cool, alrighty. So, first things first, we should look up. Actually, I've got the GitHub Copilot plugin installed. Maybe let's try that. Let's try and ask it how to make a bot that connects to Twitch chat. See if we can help us start. That's a Python library. I don't want a Python library. Okay. So this wants us to connect as an IRC bot, so a chat relay bot. Maybe not quite what I want to do. Okay, one popular library is Twitch Lab. Alright. Well, let's give that a go then, I reckon. So, let's get our terminal running. Realize that we've created an empty folder and we've initialized a Git repository. I'm going to check out main, just for using main over master. That's my preference. So, we got main here. We haven't pushed it up at all yet, so it's all just local at the moment. So let's do the .NET new. Let's do a new console app. Okay. This is calling it a class. I'm going to call this program. I'm just going to start it nice and easy here. We're not going to do anything too groundbreaking. Let's get the clients installed, or the library installed. And package. It's just TwitchLib, so that's one we need. Alrighty. Now this will be the thing. So we're going to need some tokens, and we're going to need some way of obfuscating this token, so that I don't leak the token out onto the stream. Okay, sorry, I'm a bit yawny. So I'm just checking the socials as we're doing a few things. Okay. So, bot username, bot token, and the channel's join. Did we get any documentation on how to Ooh. Okay, so I have to go to the Twitch developer dashboard. Okay. Well, I'm going to copy that and do that off screen. Again, just being careful. And we'll mostly need to set up the .NET secrets to store that. Okay. Alright, let's see what it says here. See if we want to store it secretly. Okay, so we can do it in an environmental variable. Alright, let's do that. That should be enough for now. As long as I don't echo out my environment secrets, that should be fine. Oops. That's fine. So let's go to getting the secret. Bot username and a bot channel. That should be fine. Because the odds all of a sudden. That's right. Okay, cool. Quick look through the website. So what did it tell us? Go to the OAuth generator, Twitch account username. So it says create a new application. Okay. Okay, so I'm just setting up the basic. So I'm setting up an application here within the Twitch developer. Doesn't like my name. It's not surprising I put Twitch GPT in, so it's most probably taken. Invalid client name. Let's try that. Doesn't like the client name. Okay. I'm trying some iterations on the name, and it's running into all trouble. Hey, little Susie. Yeah, happy Friday. Yeah, no, it's been a good week. Been pretty chill. Played a lot with OpenAI as part of my day-to-day work, and got a promotion today. So I am pretty good. Hopefully your week's been good as well. Okay. There we go. Got the bot registered. Alright. Yeah, unfortunately I can't show a bunch of this. Yeah, no, nothing terrible at all this week. No, I guess I did lose access to a client. I was doing the system reset. It kicked me out. So I spent a week unable to actually log in and do my normal day-to-day for the client I'm working with. But that's okay. I got to do a bunch of other stuff while waiting for them to sort out their general IT issues. Okay. So now I need to go to this password generator. Okay. I don't think that did what I wanted it to do. Yeah, I use the desktop people to reset my accounts, add all of my Active Directory groups back in so I can regain access to all the tools. Unfortunately, it's a automated system, so I have no say in it. And it's a whole, for the client I'm part of, it's a whole different division who manages all that stuff. So there's nothing I can do. But that's all the fun and games sometimes working in with large organizations. Is that a lot of process and stuff just doesn't work well sometimes. I don't think that did what I wanted it to do. Alright. Yeah, it can be sometimes really hard to track all of the things at the breadth, like the whole breadth of IT, especially if it's a large company. It can take a long time to understand all the different systems, how they talk to each other. Sometimes they don't even talk to each other, and that can be half the problem. Is you got one system managing one part of things, one system managing another part, and they don't talk to each other, and it's all manual steps between them. It's one of the big inefficiencies in a lot of businesses is when you've got multiple IT products that do different things but they don't talk to each other. So a big part of DevOps is sometimes automating that. Kind of how do you get two systems to integrate that are not built to integrate? So you build kind of middleware systems and things like that, which is an interesting path to take sometimes. Okay. Yeah, once we sign in to a TwitchBot account, okay. Not super sure what this is doing. Documentation on the TwitchBots isn't super clear. We'll give it a try. So I'm just going to bounce my screen across here. So I'm doing some credential work at the moment. That's why it's a little boring and there's not much to see. Because I'm just trying to keep myself safe with some credentials. But let's see if how do I want to do this? Okay, so I should be done with this in a sec. Okay, just clear that. Alrighty, let's bring the text and everything back. I don't play a lot of online games these days. Star Citizen a bit, more as an interest than a game. More interested in the systems they're building and how interesting that is. Used to play World of Warcraft, don't really have the time these days. I wouldn't say money over the games, really. It's more of, I do a lot of things, and sometimes games can be a lot, especially online games. What I do play a lot of kind of simulation games, which are good for relaxing. So solo, slow paced, let me kind of chill out. That's kind of more important, 'cause, yeah, work can get pretty heavy sometimes. And it's good to have a good balance. You don't want to be always pushing yourself really hard because you'll burn out, and no one has fun when people burn out. Alright, so good environmental variable should be set. Bot username. Okay, bot username should be copy that. Should be the bot username. Now the channel to join. Not sure. Let's ask Copilot. Which channel should my bot join? I don't want them to join. Yeah, online games can get pretty competitive. Nah, it doesn't know what I'm asking. That's alright. Let's bring this over to the main screen so you can see kind of what I'm looking at, rather than just doing it all off screen. And that way I can get the chat back up as well. Cool. So yeah, well, it's a bit bright. Sorry about that. But so yeah, we're looking at connecting in with creating a Twitch bot and setting Twitch chats and chat bots. So this is kind of talking about the different IRC messages. So that's all fine. That's how to connect. Keep it alive, parsing messages, rate limiting. It's all fine. And get started. Let's have a look at the get started. There's a little Node.js, of course it will. I'm trying not to do it. I'm trying to do this in .NET. A bit more of a challenge, I guess. And it keeps talking about the channel names, but I want to know what channel it should be in. Is it called Stream Chat? What's it called? There's a Twitch CLI. I might look at that a bit later too, because I might make it easier to get like the tokens and stuff like that, if I make sure I get that correctly. The Twitch channel still doesn't help me. It doesn't tell me. So at the moment what I'm doing is I'm building a bot to connect to Twitch. And then I'm going to connect that bot to the Azure OpenAI service. So the idea is that people talking in the chat should be able to interact with the bot, and the bot should be able to interact back using the AI service so that it can use its large language model to provide a reply. I'll be putting some guardrails around it and things like that to make sure it doesn't get out of hand. But I thought it'd be interesting just to kind of see where it goes. But I want to know what the channels are. Joining a chat room. Yeah, so essentially think Nightbot but connected to ChatGPT. So has access to both. But I'm just decided I want to learn how the bots work. So I'm going to code it from scratch. And then connect it to effectively the GPT model. And then might do things cool like trying to track conversations that people have with the bot so that it keeps the context of that conversation, so someone can talk to the bot and the bot remembers what you last asked per person. It'd be interesting. Also be interesting to see if I could cross-reference that with other chat messages. So if you ask the bot, hey, what did X person say, it should be able to go and search that and find the reference and then be able to answer. Alright, let's start with the channel to join is, we'll just put it as me. Which I guess could make sense if the IRC server is working that when you run a stream. We don't use any F5 firewalls in any of the projects that I'm on. We use the Azure firewall. So pretty much all the stuff I do is based in Microsoft Azure. So there's the Azure firewall there that we use. I don't do a lot with firewalls. It's much more of a network security thing, but I'm aware of them. I know how to deploy them and how to kind of configure them a little bit. Okay. So this should connect to that. Yeah, firewalls is more of a platform role. DevOps still should be aware of firewalls. So should be aware of kind of what they do, how they're provisioned, what role they serve. It's like, why do you have firewalls? What does it protect? What do you gain by limiting the kind of ports access, things like that. But sometimes, like, I might not know the intricacies of how to kind of get that going and what those specific things mean. So give me a sec. No. Sorry, let's just give me a second. Oh, good, and I'm back. Alrighty, cool. So, let's see if this builds. Yep, build succeeded. There's one warning, that's alright. Warnings are fine. Alright, let's see what happens, hey? Oh, Twitch username does not appear to be valid. Alrighty, cool. That's fine. We need to work out how to set up a proper username for the bot. Alright, so just looking over on my other screen. Okay, I think I need to try and log in. So what I'm trying to do now is generate a token to access the server. So the token is being stored in an environmental variable, just to keep it kind of hidden. But I need to go and effectively log in using credentials for the bot that I'm trying to build. It's just, so I've set up a incognito window and logging in using some credentials for the bot. I don't know if that's the right one. I'm just being super careful because I don't want to accidentally leak anything across. didn't do what I wanted it to do. Okay. Right, let's go to the documentation. That's how to set up the CLI. Yeah, this would tell me how to do this and get information on for my account how to get this information, but that's what I want. I want a separate thing for the chatbot. So how do I do that? Alright. And it says if you can use the CLI's token command to get a user access token for the bot username or Twitch account. Okay. Okay, so it wants us to use either the API, the CLI. Alright. I think it really wants us to use the CLI. So let's try and do that. Let's install the CLI. Scoop. Do I have Scoop installed? No. I do not. So now it's going to want us to go and install Scoop. And there's so many of these command line installs for Windows, which is a bit annoying. Like you've got Winget, you've got Scoop, you've got Chocolatey. There's a whole heap of them. It's like, can we just try and mix some of these? Alright, let's go and grab that. And that will set our remote execution so that we can go and download the application and execute it, and that will give us access to Scoop. Alright, Scoop is installed, all good. And then we just need to do, so we add this bucket, which I'm gathering is adding a repository. This is what the bucket is here. Yep, and then we install the Twitch CLI. Okay. Alright. So that's done. So what we want to do now is here. So the Twitch account login username, but I don't want to do that. Okay. So it talks about using the this project I started just tonight, so I've been working on this. How long have we been running now? I can't find my counter. However long the stream's been up. 30 minutes, 40 minutes total. So in 40 minutes, I've not done a Twitch bot before, so there's a lot of messing around. Hopefully I'll get somewhere tonight. Would be nice. Alright, so if we got to CLI. No, it's not what it's called. What is the Twitch CLI command? So it's just called Twitch, is it? Okay. Okay, so logs on Twitch returns an access token according to your client ID secret in the configuration. Okay. Okay, so it's asking for a client ID. So let me just whatever. So I'm using .NET, so that's C# is the programming language. .NET's the framework to do all of this. So just quickly go and grab my client ID and then my client secret. Okay, and then I'll clear, and I'll generate a token. Is that token generated correctly or not? I think it did, so alright, then I'll clear that. And then set my environmental variable again. And I'll clear that. Alright, now I can bring things back across. Cool. Yeah, it's totally possible to do this in Python. I think the example itself is using Node.js, so you've got the option of doing it in JavaScript, TypeScript with Node.js. You should be able to do this in Python, .NET. I mean, technically it's an IRC network, so you could do this in C and C++ if you're feeling particularly brave, or Rust. So it's a good project actually, I think, for doing a lot of different languages, because each language should have a way of doing this. Okay. So I've got the new token in place, and it helps if I type that correctly. So let's see what happens when I run. It does not like the Twitch username. It does not seem to be valid. Well, that's a problem. I wonder if I need to use the client ID. Oh, maybe I'll put my username there. Let's see if that changes any of it. Oh, running apparently. No, it says it's running. Whether or not it is, that's a whole different thing to know. The application says it's doing a thing. It hasn't given me a connected channel or anything yet. I'm not super sure what it's doing. It could be timing out, could be doing something like that. go back to the getting started. So pop username with your Twitch account's login username or lowercase. Post the token you want to connect the bot with, which I've done. I've done the register your app. Step is to get a token. Yeah, it's not very clear on how this is maybe I'll try this one. So I'll need to do a HTTP post. Do I have that installed on here? Again, I don't really want to do it inside here. I'm going to run a post from PowerShell. So how do I do that invoke? Okay. Yeah, something like that should work. Alright, let's take this and let's modify it as required. So it's not working. Where was I? So registered the app, and then we want to get the token. So for this we'll need, okay, so we'll have a client ID, and that'll have a field. Just check out it. I do that. Okay, so it's done like that. So we have client ID, and then it will be a client secret. Use quotes. And grab type. Okay, and that grad type must be set to client credentials. Okay. Alright, I'll just go again, drag this to on the screen for a sec and populate those values. I think that broke. I don't think that did what I wanted it to do. Okay, that's there. And we add the client secret. And then it helps if I put the actual name of the endpoint in. So what is the endpoint name? HTTPS Patty Twitch /o +2 token. Says it's missing the client ID. That's not correct. It gave it the client ID. No, so it doesn't like something like that. Okay, let's move the code back over. Unhappy with something, I gotta do it a different way. That's cool. Alrighty. Do I have... No, I don't have Postman on here, which is really annoying. So let's get Postman. Postman's a nice little tool for doing some API work. So useful for kind of querying APIs, especially if you're developing APIs and you want to kind of hit it and see what it does. It's useful. You can also, there's also some clients you can get which tie directly into Visual Studio Code. Oops, didn't like something I did. I think I ran it twice. All right, we don't want to run it twice. Let's skip the account. Alright, so I'm just gonna again hide Postman for the moment because I am doing credential stuff, and we don't want to accidentally put the credentials somewhere where that people can see them. It would be nice if it had a good way of doing this, like the Azure CLI, which kind of does it behind the scenes, but it looks like this does not. Okay. So just give you a look for what it looks like before I put the details in. So this is what I'm setting up. So I'm going to be calling this URL. So this is the OS2 token generation URL. I'm going to be giving it a client ID, a client secret, and then the grant type we're looking for is client credentials. So I'm just going to go fill in that information now. Okay, and I've got a token back, that's good. Let's drag this across to do my token creation. we got token creation done. So now let's try this. Oops. Keep pressing the wrong buttons for saving on a Windows machine. We'll build. And let's try run. Nope. Does not let that switch username. If I do it with that username, it seems to go okay, but then it doesn't get to the connected channel. Let's see. Hi, Nemesis. Yeah, the idea will be it's effectively a GPT bot, so it'll be, rather than using OpenAI GPT directly, it will be connecting in using the Azure OpenAI service to access the GPT models that way. Once I get the base chatbot working, which I'm coding from scratch effectively, or not really scratch, I'm using a library. But I've never done it before, so I'm hitting all of the hurdles, which is okay, because that's what happens. So let's figure out where it's stopping at the moment. Now, normally, like if I had full weight Visual Studio or something, I would do something like put breakpoints and debug, but because I'm just doing very small things, I'm just going to use console write line. So I want to see if, so we initialize and I'm connecting there to get to this point. Let's see, so it says connecting. Alright, so I think we connect, so we'll do the connecting here, but client on connected is not. So this is an event that should be firing when we actually, to the client to initialize will happen, and then we've registered an event on connected to happen, but the event is not firing. Okay, let's try and remove that. Again, we're not getting connected there. Right, let's go ask Google a bit. Let's just go with Twitch. Copy that link and just go check something. So this, what I'm checking now is it validating what I'm doing. What do you need? So you need a bearer. Alright. Needs a bearer token. That's fine. I've got the bearer token. and it returned me a whole web page, which is not really what I want to be checking. That's not super useful. Yeah, I can most likely try and use curl like in an IRC client, but it's using OAuth 2 rather than just a standard kind of username password. So what I'm trying to do at the moment is determine if I have generated the token correctly. That's what I'm trying to do with this validate token, but I don't think it's doing what I... No, I don't want to do that one. Let's copy that link, put it over on our other screen. Okay. That doesn't seem to be working. That's right. Alrighty. No, that's all. No suggestions are annoying. Everyone's input's welcome, so we've got different ways of approaching it, so that's all good. Yeah, it's a good idea to check the success of the callback. Because at the moment, yeah, we're not getting a callback. We're calling our initialization. So part of the issue here could be that we're not connecting to the right channel. So it may be failing. It may be connecting okay, because we were getting an error before where it was effectively telling us that the token was incorrect. So we know we've got at least a client that passes that initial credentials initialization. So when we're getting here, what we're not doing is getting that callback. I wonder if there's an on login. So there's on connected, which is there. There's a connection error. Maybe we need to check for that on error and see if there's any error that's popping up. Failed to receive join confirmation. Yeah, not sure. Because we'd want the on connected to fire first, so alright. That's also maybe what we want to do is, what's the library we're using? TwitchLib. Let's go and have a look and see if they've got an example. So let's go to the base library and see if there's an example. Maybe I'm doing something weird that I shouldn't be doing. Okay. So Twitch username and an access token, which is fine. That's what we're doing. So we've got that so we can. Won't bother with that for the moment. So this is doing something different here. Oh, you know what? Can always just steal. Let's take their example and see if we can get their example to work. I think that's what's going to serve us best here. So this will put this in a new file called box.cs. Alright. There's some fun formatting issues, but that's okay. Cool. So public class. And then yeah, let's go add the basic using system. No. And it wants the models. So you've got clients, and it wants the nums as well. Yep. Nums. Alrighty. I'm missing something. Oh, those are warnings. Warnings are okay. Timeout user. Oh, just missing an extension. Alright. Okay, so let's just comment all this stuff out for the moment. Hitting the wrong button. Alrighty. So now let's do body is equal to new bot. Read line. Gotta go grab this. I mean, realistically, the bot should take those parameters in, but that's right. We will figure that out later. And then we will put our username in here. As a service. Okay. Now the channel, this is the other thing I know is like, what is the base channel called? Let's try to Google it again. Open a separate body count. That might also be part of it, but sorry. Come back to that and see if that's an issue later. There's a medium article. That's fine. Let's see if the medium article. Text and loading, that's right. It's all available on GitHub. Okay, as soon as I right click on here, I get impatient and it comes up anyway. Alright. Twitch channel name. think the channel name is just this. Oh, let's try it again. Okay, well this gives us more information. It's telling me the login is not successful. Alright. Now. Okay. That's right. So that's telling me login is unsuccessful though. Getting useful information now. Okay. Just want to see if they've given us anything here. And still more access tokens. Okay. So I'm clearly doing something incorrect with generating the token. Seems to be definitely the issue here. Now, whether or not that's that, I've got an endpoint that I'm calling, which is generating the token based off the client ID. But client ID just gonna do that again. So also notice that it keeps trying to join this channel without using a hash. No, I don't know why it's joining that channel without a hash. Keep saying login is successful. Alright, let's go through this bit. So this is talking about, okay. So we've done this part. Which is good. Okay. Alright, well, let's try this. Let's copy that URL. Just gonna do this one off screen. And then I go get my client ID. Paste that in. Okay. So I've told that to authorize now. And then that's the authorization code. Should be available. Okay, so I'll copy that authorization code out. Okay, so that's saying that that's that authorization code. Okay, let's go and update the environmental variable with that code. Okay. Yep, and I just exposed that token. So let me go back and do that all again. Oop. Let's quickly get that redone. So don't want to expose that for too long. Hopefully this just invalidates it. I did the thing I was trying not to do, but that's alright, mistakes happen. Worst comes to worst, I can just delete the application and redo it. And hopefully the new, we'll be able to tell in a minute if the new, yep, the new code is different. That's good. So I now know for future, if I accidentally leak the code, I can just get another one. Cool. Good to know. This time we clear the console and we can bring it back now. Cool. Nobody saw anything. Yeah, mistakes happen. But important thing we learned there is that if you do accidentally expose your token, when you request a new one, it regenerates it with a different token. So saved there, that other token is invalid and won't work now. Okay. Nope, still getting a login authentication failed. Why are we getting a login authentication failed? Gonna just go try something again with the token. Okay, so changed the token up. And we're not getting the login failures now. So we're getting a should be connected, but we're not getting anything else. Okay. Oh no, there we are. Login authentication failed. Okay. What's going on? Let's have a look at, is that the same? And it's just creating a chat box. One of them doing it with .NET Core should be similar. Now this is just logging into the IRC server itself. I mean, which is a way to do it. I'm trying to do it with. So just gonna go reset my token to what it was. Yeah, just keep getting failures in connection. Okay. Twitch username access token. Might try and give it the Twitch username of its client ID, which is public information anyway, so that's fine. I can show the client ID. And that's saying the Twitch username appears to be invalid. Alright, fair enough. Let's just try and call this channel then. Nope, still getting login authentication failure. When you've signed into the chatbot account on Twitch, so maybe I need to set up a separate account. Maybe that's what I need to do. Let's ask, do I need to do that? I can't start. Do I need? Does the bot require for Twitch account? Do I? Okay, so apparently yes, we need to actually go and make a Twitch account. Okay, well let's do that. Okay. Let's sign up for a new Twitch account, which I will call there we go. And then let's go. Nope, doesn't like that password. Too weak. Alrighty. I think I've got a generator I can use. Generator. Okay. Paste that in, likes that password, that's good. Can I use email? I'm thinking which email address to give it. I think I already had to set up some email addresses for things. I don't know if you can have multiple accounts on one email. Let me just drag this over for a minute. I just want to check. Nope, so please use a different email. That's a pain. Need to make an email address for the bot. Try another email address I've got. Right. Okay, sorry again, this is a bit boring, but I'm just doing a little bit of stuff off to the side without trying to dox myself. That's right, I could have done that. Would be good if I'd done that kind of now, but that's all good. I found one of my other email accounts that doesn't have a Twitch account associated, so all good. But thank you for that. Yeah, that would have been useful. I remember seeing that with people trying to set up alternate accounts for like their kids and stuff when registering for like online stuff. Okay. But I think we are good now. Okay, so I think we're good now. All right. So, brand new Twitch account. I don't know. Which isn't software. Yeah, that one. Sure. Finish. I want to get to the developer portal. That's not a bad idea, actually, having that filtering alias. Alrighty, okay, let's authorize that. And we're going to go into an application, register an application. We're going to call it GPT bot. Let's see if this will work. It may not, because I think I've already registered that, but I can go delete that. Let's go delete that from my other account. Let's see if that helps. No, it's just doing localhost there. Category is chatbot, not a robot. So now I know this is gonna start spewing out credentials as soon as I hit this, so I'm going to copy this over again. Okay. Doesn't like something about what I'm doing. Maybe the name, it didn't like the dashes. Right, and now it's asking if I'm not a bot, so we're doing a capture. And it's not letting me create a bot, which is super annoying. Alrighty. User must have a verified email. Helps if I read the errors. Let's just go and verify the email first. I thought I had verified it because I had logged in with the email. All the fun and games of trying to get things to work. So now I should have a verified email. Saying that I don't have a verified email, but I certainly do. Why is it being a pain? Maybe there's an old verification link. Let's try again. Waiting for that new verification request comment to come through. It's just taking a while. Ooh, yeah. So what projects is everyone else working on at the moment? Anyone else doing anything kind of interesting right now? Might have to log out of that. Okay, come on, Twitch. Just let me verify my email, please. Alright, it's being slow now. Just on purpose because it knows I'm trying to get something done. Alrighty. Just waiting for this verification email to come through. Right, while it's doing this, I'm going to go get a beer and I will be back. So let's switch this one. So I will be right back.
All right, this is a lot. This is it. Sheepy, thank you for the.
Right, and we're back. So I've got, now that account authenticated now, 2FA in place, set up the new bot registration. I've got to redo the token again because that's on screen. I've got to stop doing that. Where's Postman gone? Get me a new token. Thank you. And let's do that again. It's clearly Friday. I'm clearly not switched on tonight. That's alright. As long as I don't miss one and forget that I exposed a token and don't clear it and change it. Mostly after stream I'll go and reset all the tokens anyway, just to be safe. But that's fine. Cool. Alrighty, so got the new account configured. Telling it to join my channel. Got the Twitch token, so I should be able to build. Right. Why am I okay? Why am I getting a login unsuccessful? Got the token, I've got the credentials. Something funny is happening there now. Alright, something funny is happening there, so let's maybe try in a more simple way. Let's have a look at what are we doing here. So this is just a pretty simple IRC bot. Alright, well let's try and do the IRC bot. Yeah, so what I've been trying to do is use the library that's there to do all this for me and abstract all of it away, but clearly that's not working. Something funny is happening here, so we're going to try it kind of as Nemesis had said earlier, with doing it in just using a base IRC client effectively. So let's clear all this away. This is not working at the moment. That's good. Let's see if GitHub Copilot can help us with this one, since IRC client should be pretty straightforward. Cool. So that should be straightforward. Let's grab all of this and we'll drop that in there. So this is all pretty straightforward stuff. TCP client will need sockets. We'll need sockets. So and then this TMI.twitch.tv is the IRC server. And now the password should just be our Twitch token. And then the username will be this one. And then we will try again for using that as now just checking that this isn't going to dump the token out to console. It shouldn't. That's right into the stream writer. And we will copy that in. So what are we doing here? Let's just read through the code quickly to understand what it's doing. So we are creating a TCP client for a server and port. So server 6867. The server is tmi.twitch.tv. Using our bot account, using our OAuth token, setting the channel, setting up a reader and a writer. We're passing through password, nick, and a join command, and then flushing them out to the TCP client, so through the writer. Then while true, we read any lines coming in from the reader and then we send them out to console. If the message contains the command ping, then we return pong with the message of the C server, and then we flush that out. That's all pretty straightforward, and we'll build upon this if this works. So let's do .NET run. Thinking about it. Well, haven't received any errors yet, which could be good or bad. Let me try this message for the bot. And let's see if that picks everything up. I don't think it did. Oh. What am I doing wrong? Oop, something died. Connection fails because the connected party did not respond. So the bot will be all sorts of things. So at the moment, once we get it connected, it will connect through to OpenAI service. And then you'll be able to effectively talk to the OpenAI GPT models through the bot. That's the plan. But the bot doesn't currently want to connect. I'm having all sorts of troubles connecting to the bot, and this is just due to my lack of understanding of how to connect to the Twitch RC network. It shouldn't be this hard. Yeah, I was thinking of doing one for Discord as well. I think this, from what I'm seeing at least, I think the libraries are better for Discord. I've done a Discord bot before, and it was much simpler. I think I did a Twitch bot long ago, but I think they've changed a lot of things since then. Especially now that they're requiring an OAuth 2 token to log in. What's this person saying? They made a bot in less than 5 minutes. That's nice, but how? And the other problem I'm having is figuring out what is the actual channel it needs to connect to on the IRC. And this is a Node.js one. Let's see. Okay, that's using another library. No, the page didn't exist. Not sure what 3 stars were, but I think I may have URL filtering on whiskey. I'd have to go and configure that. So I think that's just a default setting. I haven't actually set up too much of the chat stuff. Okay, cool. I'll go have a look at it later. Let me copy and note that one down. But yeah, I'll definitely go have a look at it later. And maybe we'll come back and like have a look at it, do a bit of a, if you're up for it, we can do a code review just to have a look at the code and see if we can work out what's going on. It's also interesting, I could throw it into GitHub Copilot and see what Copilot tells me. But yeah, let me put that one in my notes. Where's my notes gone? I don't have my notes up. That's right. And what I'll do is I will re-put this in. There we go. I will re-put this in the chat for you as an actual link. There we go. So everyone can go have a look at that as well. Cool. Thank you for sharing. That's great. Alright. Where are we? So this is someone doing... So they're using an IRC client class. So what we'll do here is work out how they're logging in. We don't want to especially copy all of this. So we have an OAuth token, which they're sending through here. So they're saying new IRC client, and they're using IRC, not TMI, so I don't know. Maybe that's an issue. The bot name, Twitch auth, and the broadcaster name. So again, maybe let's take that out there and see if that helps. And we're getting a token. I see the Twitch TV. Then so on connection, they're setting up the ports the way we are. They're passing through the password, username. So Nick. I'm not sure what they're doing there, but they're sending something. Well, let's rebuild that and see if it will change the server it's hitting. Well, thank you for the follow. It's Quake SBK. Thank you very much. Alright, it did not like that server, so I don't think that server exists anymore. I think TMI was the correct server, because that one actually connected for us a minute ago. Alright, so recompile. Now it's just going to do the timeout thing, I think, again. Alright, let's grab a few more. Twitch has an auth. Alright, let's also maybe look at the official documentation. Hey Mia. Yeah, it's going alright. Still working on the base Twitch bot. Just connecting to IRC, it's been a while. Cracked open a beer, which is good. I'm drinking Sapporo Black. Socket exception failed because the party did not respond. Okay. could be a port issue too. Maybe I'm hitting. Maybe there's a better port to hit. All right. So authenticating with the Twitch. So I should be sending it in this one, which I'm pretty sure I am, but I will just go double check. Sorry everyone, just duck this off the screen again to go double check that environmental variable. Make sure it is actually doing what I want it to be doing. So it should be OS. Yep, so I'll just verify. Yep, that looks correct. Let's bring this back now. So that's fine. Okay, so it's wanting us to use these URLs. So WebSocket clients or an IRC client. Maybe we'll use non-SSL for the moment. Let's see if that gives us any kind of better. Oh, don't need the 667 in there. See if that gives us a better answer. Run. Able to read data from that. Let's see if that makes any difference. Build and run. No such host is known. Okay. Maybe I need to do this with a WebSocket client. Okay. How do I set up a WebSocket client? Apparently like that. Okay, let's see if that works. Doing WebSockets. So we go URI, oops, and let's go get the URI from here. Alright, grab that as a URI, cool, and then we say using client WebSocket. Now it's going to have a problem. So you won't have the correct thing in here. Use that one. Right, so we got the WebSocket there. Let me say, wait. All right, so that's how. So that's a connection. And then we have an onConnect event. I have to restart. Send a sync or receive a sync. gonna want a buffer. Oh, do I want to do it this way? This becomes a lot of work. Let's ask Google again. Oh, maybe this works. 3 years ago, maybe. I'm gonna look at how it's doing it first, because I want to kind of implement it at base as well. Yeah, not quite what I'm after. I think there's another. So that TwitchLib is the one we tried to use, and it just didn't seem to work that well for us. Is that the only main one? The .NET, and it just didn't work very well for us. Because we just weren't able to connect. Let's clear this again. I think we'll do the bot again. I must be missing something pretty obvious that I'm not getting. I'm not sure what that error. Nope. For some reason had async there. Okay. Actually from the there we go. Then it's connecting to the IRC. And it's saying should be connected. And then unaccounted, no, just login unsuccessful. Alright, let's go Google that error. The game of Google that error. Let's just go and check. And try and validate that my token is working. Seems to be valid. Okay, now that time it's returned an invalid token, so just validating the token again. It's still returning a valid token. Okay, that one returned a valid token, so let's update that one into a variable. Alright, so I've updated that one into variable, spelled it correctly. Still getting the same error. So I've validated the token is correct, the token is valid. Client ID is fine. So why can't I connect? Apparently I need to go to this website to get the token. Okay, let's try through the website that they're asking us to go through to get the token. Okay, so it's given us a different token to work with now. At some point we will get past this initial issue with tokens. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to check call the validation endpoint and see if the token is valid as far as that endpoint is concerned. Yes, it actually looks a little more successful. That now has returned some scopes for me, so that makes me feel a bit happier. Now I'll bring it back over here. Alright, now for the real test. Hey, there we go, we have a bot. We have a bot and it is connected. Ah, bot. Whew, alrighty. First one of tonight's hurdles over. We have a bot, it does connect. Yes, welcome to the Overlords. Alrighty. Now to wire this up to connect to OpenAI. Now the fun begins. Alright. Now I get to do my favorite thing. So that's going to be important, actually looking at making sure that I can respond to people who talk to the bot directly, because I don't want to actually just responding to every single thing. I do want to kind of responding when people talk to it. Cool. So let's do my favorite thing, which is close all of the tabs. That feels good. Alright. Now, so we have our bot, and our bot has all these things. Okay. Yeah, I don't. We'll mostly need to turn on whisper support at the moment, but at the moment I want to keep it within public channels only. I think is a good idea. That way everyone can see what's being sent to the bot, and the bot can respond kind of appropriately to everyone. I will also most likely need to put some kind of filtering on in case some people want to say nasty things to the bot. The bot should not respond to nasty things. But we'll see how we go. Alrighty. Happy that's finally been sorted out. Cool. So, now, that's the bot. Now I need to remember how I do my OpenAI configuration. So, I'm going to stop the bot for the moment. So everyone say goodbye to the bot for the moment. Goodbye, bot. Now I'm going to enter Azure. There we go. I'm not going to use that specific version. I'm just going to go pre-release. Alright, and then we'll do a .NET add package identity. Cool, so that'll get our identity up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new class, and we'll call this AI chat. This is PowerShell down here at the moment. Yes. Looks a bit different. I use a thing called Oh My Posh. Oh My Posh. This is how I have a more interesting and more useful PowerShell prompt. So that's what I use for my prompt. I also use this one whenever I'm working on my Mac, which I use Mac for work, or I'm working inside containers on Linux. So both of these allow you to really customize your terminals. That's how I'm doing the kind of text prediction stuff like that within my terminal, and all those kind of cool things, and plus making it look pretty. I like having little tabs and the time and all that stuff. I mean, it's even telling me what version of .NET I'm running within my terminal, which is nice. Cool. Alrighty. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. And then classes AI chat. And we're going to do public AI chat to set it up. And we'll need to pull in some dependencies. System. AI. And identity, that should be enough to start with. Then we'll have a AI client, private. So we'll need a URI endpoint, which we'll just call endpoint, and then we'll use the default Azure credential, and then we'll pass through a string for the endpoint. And we will just get through that. Cool. So that will create our client connection to the OpenAI client. That will do string ask. So we'll start off pretty simply. We want to be able to ask the bot a question, and then we'll do so there's a chat completion options. There needs to be a new one. New chat completion options. Chat options. Messages. Add. And then we'll say new chat message. Chat role is user, and they're asking a question, and we will also do, so I'll explain what this is doing in a sec. Just want to get this in. I want user, I want this one to be system, and alright, so what we're doing here is we're giving OpenAI so setting up some options that will then start the actual chat session with the GPT model. So we're saying, okay, this first part is telling the bot what it's doing, kind of what it should be emulating and what kind of rules it has in place. So we're saying you're a chatbot connected to Twitch TV. Please answer the following question nicely. And then we'll add in the message, which is the question from the user, which will be the question that comes in through chat. And then what we do is, now, autocomplete from GitHub Copilot does not get this stuff very well. So we'll get, we won't do async at the moment. We'll keep everything kind of synchronous for the moment. We will need this async later on, because we're going to have to be able to handle a fair amount of messages coming through potentially. And what do I have to provide you with? I think I need to provide you with the model, which is models called GPT-3.5. Overall for this kind of stuff, not too expensive, so it's kind of, I think it's a couple of cents per 1,000 tokens. And a token is kind of like roughly a couple of word or two is a token. So kind of you have you have 8,000 tokens possible you can send in one go. And 8,000 tokens is about 200 bit pages of text. So you've got quite a bit, and then of course 8,000 tokens is about what 8-9 cents or something like that, depending on the model. Some of the models are more expensive, some are cheaper. Yes, 3.5. Let me quickly look it up. Sing. In the Australian dollars, so right, so I'm using this one, so it's actually not even a cent per 1,000 tokens, it's 0.003 cents per 1,000 tokens. It gets a bit more expensive when you start using GPT-4, but I don't have access to GPT-4 as of yet. So at the moment, that's that. Sorry, your wife is yelling at our cat, who's decided to jump up on a table. But yeah, I've been experimenting pretty heavily with OpenAI, and so far I've spent a whole of, I think, $1.10 in a month just on testing and chatting. Obviously, when you start to really pump a lot of stuff through, it's going to start to add up. But, I mean, that's true of any service, really. Cool. So, right, so we've got the chat completions coming into a response. Cool. And then we want to return the response dot value choices and the message. And it's saying it doesn't like that, so, and content, there we go. So ChatGPT will replace a lot of writing, especially copywriting, pamphlets, communication. Yeah, that's really, it's going to replace a lot of stuff, which is the kind of bulk stuff. It's boilerplate stuff that's not particularly difficult, it's just time consuming. And yeah, these AI models are really good for that. In the space like DevOps, which is my main thing, it's really good for templates. Like, you want to do templates for CI/CD pipelines. It's mostly the same boilerplate code every time. This kind of stuff does it really well. It's also really, really good. I love GPT models for this. Creating kind of demo data or dummy data to use in development. You give it some examples of the data you want and then ask it to generate 100 lines. And it generates useful data that you can test your applications with. It's really nice to do that stuff. And then you can ask it to modify that data. So you say you've generated a list of food items into a big JSON file. You can then say, add an ID to each of the items. And it can go ahead and do that. Whereas you would have had to sit there, go through every single one to add an ID and to add some other field, and it would take you time, be cumbersome. It's not really hard work, it's just boring. But the AI models can do that great. Cool, alright, so that's the question, and so I've connected that. Cool. So, got our bot here. Okay, I'm just going to do this very simply. There are a lot of ways to do these kind of connections and stuff a bit smarter, but I'm just going to do it in kind of the bulk way. So I'm going to say, so that's public bot. I'm going to give myself an AI chat. And I'm going to do AI chat. I don't need to do environment, I can just put in my endpoint. So my endpoint, if I jump over to my Azure tenant. So this is my endpoint here. Now, credential wise here, this is really good. All I have to do to get these credentials to work is to do command line login. It's popped up a screen in another browser, another screen of mine. I'm just logging into Azure at the moment, and I need to get my other authenticator. And log in with my other authenticator. And helps if I turn my non-lock on. Oh meow. Oh, my cat's decided to come in and yell at me. Because he can. Alrighty. So, we've logged in. So that's it. And then with the default Azure credential, that will actually get data from the AZ CLI to do the login for me. So I don't have to worry about putting credentials in and exposing them and all that stuff. So, I reckon let's give it a go. Now, it's going to be slow to start with. It's not the fastest thing. So I'm going to be interested to see how it responds. Now, it's mostly going to respond to... Oh wait, not going to respond to anything at the moment. Good night, bot. It's going to respond to nothing because I haven't given it something to check. So on message received. Alright. Contains bad word. Alright. Okay, so everyone be careful not to say bad word. Alright. So we'll do if it contains let's ask question. Oh yeah, this is why sometimes I love Copilot. It's figured out what I want it to do, and then it's going to send the message back. So let's try that again. Alright, well, Nemesis, since you tried just before, do you want to try again? And let's see this time if it wants to answer you. Now, I think it's thinking. There we go. You officially have talked to OpenAI through Twitch. What could possibly go wrong here? So there we go. At a very simple level. Okay, I'm not sure what the stars was. I might have to get it to echo out to the console what it's trying to say, but maybe it's trying to say interact with Twitch.tv users. There we go. That's why it's done that. See if it answers this. There we go. It knows the parameter. I'm actually surprised how fast this is running. Normally, oh, here we go. It's asking for a big question. I'm going to see if it's timed out for creating a large message. Nemesis, you should go into to QA. So we're still getting pings and pongs. I think that it's still thinking on how to respond. So what I might need to do is get you may have broke something, you may not have. It didn't respond. I thought, oh no, here we go. There's an error message here. Message length has exceeded the maximum character count. So it tried to respond to you, but its response was too long. Which is a good safety mechanism. You don't want it actually responding in massive amounts. So that's good. I'm just thinking, how would we want... It should tell you if it's doing something and returning too big a message. So what we can do here... Yeah, exactly. I think what we'll do is when a message is too long, we'll actually return a message that says, I'm sorry, that my response is too long. Yeah, and we'll mostly rate limit the requests and things like that. So lots of safety things to go in. Obviously, this is a very simple thing at the moment. But breaking things is good. Breaking things shows us where the issues are. We don't break things, we don't learn. So never be apologetic for breaking things if it helps progress. So what we want to do is we want to grab the return message from the ask question. Okay, so we've got the return message. I think I'm missing some brackets. There we go. Okay, and then we say if yep, greater than, say, it's 500, because I think 500 is the limit. Not quite what we want, but I'll put it in anyway, because we're not doing the substring. We are now the other thing we can do here, which would be cool. What's this? Oh, don't you like that? Am I having a brain melt? So return is can less than equal 500. What's wrong with that? Okay, thank you. Well, I don't want dot length. Go. Okay, you can go away now. You had to do it the first time. Count is a method, not a value. Can we go away? Oh, didn't want you to do that. So, if the return is greater than or equal to 500, then my response was too long, or else just return the message, that's fine. But the other thing we could look at doing here is actually having it summarize its answer. So we could say, please summarize the answer with less than 500 words. So what we actually might do, just to be on the safe side, let's actually it's 500 characters, not words, but I'll leave it at 500 characters. We'll see what happens. So I mostly need a nicer way to shut down the bot rather than just Control C, bot disappears. But everyone say goodbye to the bot, and let's rebuild. Run, and it will of course give its little spiel. There we go, this bot. Alright. Now that's an interesting one, Nemesis. The ChatGPT model, the GPT models, as you can tell maybe by what it's returned, is limited to a data set that ended, I think, in 2021. So it's not going to have knowledge of what today's popular TV show is, but the way people get around this is they give the applications the ability to go search the internet. Yep, Whiskey, you can try and break it, see if you can try and get it to return something that would be longer than 500. Yep. So I think two things are going to happen here, Whiskey. One is that you're not going to get the full jailbreak message in because it's too long, and I don't think they work on this one because Microsoft have secured it versus those kind of attacks. Also, part of this is I've instructed it exactly what it's meant to be doing. So what you can see here is I've already given it the context of what it's doing. So I don't think you can, as a user message, override that base system message that says, here is the role you're filling. Which again is another good kind of safety mechanism in place to stop people from jailbreaking the bots. I'm not sure why it gave a typo though. That's interesting. Yep, and again, it understood take over the world as being something it doesn't want to do. No, cat. Alright. Tut, say hello to the internet. Hi everyone, this is Tut. Tut wants to get in the way because he wants attention, which I give him, and then he will get grumpy because I won't give him more attention. I will have to set up a cat cam at some point. But not today, buddy. Not today. You got a scratch on you. Been playing too rough. Alright. There you go, apparently the Hello World application in Scala is quite short. I haven't played with Scala actually. So, now what we need to do is think, how can we make the bot more useful? Well, I'm not going to tell you my IP address. The bot might, but I won't. Maybe that's a good thing of having my name so close to the bot. Yeah, no, that's totally relevant. It's like, how can this be abused is something that we want to... Yeah, it looks like I'm being protected by this kind of predicate here saying this is the role you're filling, and it's really trying very hard to stay within the confines of what it defines as a chatbot for Twitch should do. Oh, I think it's 10. Sorry, Whiskey. I don't know, that's some high math. There you go, I did some math. Yeah, let me give one to it. No, I didn't understand my high math questions. Oh, there we go. Apparently the response to what is a cheap free alternative to Miro is too long. But I'm finding it interesting how responsive the bot is being. I was expecting it to be quite a bit slower. That's my experience, especially with the bot so far. So what we'll do now, actually, now that we've got that example nemesis of the Miro question, let's stop the bot and see if I can get it to summarize its responses to be less than 500 characters. So ignite bot. So we want to summarize the answer, and what we'll do is we'll set up another call. The other thing also to remember here is we're not tracking context yet, so it doesn't remember each of these messages that it's receiving. So it doesn't have a context built to understand what everyone is asking it, which is something to build in a bit later. Yes, I don't know. So I'll put it up again in a minute, but I want to try and do this. Yeah, I need to maybe find a nicer way to get it to turn off, to notify everyone that it's leaving, rather than just disappearing. Okay. So we're kind of doing this here, except for what we're doing here is the context I think should track by user, so it should be able to track the context of each user it's talking to. I also think it would be useful to have the ability to track the context of all the users and have like a rolling context. So if someone says, hey, what did X person say, or please explain what X person said, the bot should be able to say, okay, I understand who X person is, let's try and answer the question based off all the messages that they had put in. So, please summarize the text provided to less than 500 characters. Okay. So, and then what we do here, we place the message and send it. Alright. And we're connected again, and it's back. Alright, so I'm just going to copy a question and see if it gives me what answer it gives me. Let's paste and copy. The other thing I should do here is add some logging in to know when it's talking. There we go. Now we have the ability for it to summarize its answers and give more concise answers. Whereas previously it would have been a massive long answer detailing all the different options. Okay. I've used Lucidchart before. Lucidchart's okay. I use Miro at the moment. Cool. I can maybe even actually use the bot. Just thinking, we've got this bad word filter here. We could maybe even use the bot to detect if someone has said something inappropriate. Now, that's fraught with some issues. Maybe it's going to have a bias in there, and maybe time someone out for saying something. That would be interesting to test, but I think that one might be a little difficult. All right. I know what we should do. Maybe not new subscriber, but I wonder if there's a new follower. So we could say something to new followers. Hold on. Got that. What are the events that I can listen to? The subscription stuff, not really what I'm going for. There is a rate limit. That's good. So we can kind of use rate limiting through the connections, so that might help us. Maybe we could do something in user joined, but I think some people like to join quietly into Twitch streams sometimes, and they don't want to be kind of shouted at the moment they join a stream. So maybe not that one. Yeah, okay, there's nothing for the, so if I do, yeah, interesting that there's, because I could say if there was someone to just follow, because that one's fairly easy. Guess not for the moment, but yeah, future, if subscribers were a thing, don't think I'm thinking about that at the moment, but it would be cool to have a bot that was able to respond to them in a more natural way rather than just a stock standard message. Okay. So the other thing we can do here in this initial context here is we can start providing a bit more information. So we could say, essentially add context to who I am. So if someone was to jump in and say who's streaming, it would be able to pick that up. Ooh. And Tut's trying to knock over my beer. Come on, buddy. Off your pop. Yeah, so if someone was coming and asking some questions, maybe it could like give some relevant answers to what was going on, at least from what I've told it is going on. Oh. So the other thing that would make sense here, so you can imagine if it's a busy channel, lots of chatting going on, lots of talking, you'd want it to try and ingest all that information because it'd be relevant to it. But because you have the limits on these chat messages and how much you can send to a prompt to ask it something, that's where having something like an embedding database, which is used to record all the messages, work out an embedding. An embedding is kind of like creates a numerical value which describes the message, and it has like 1,500 different variables. But you can use those embeddings to compare messages to each other and find out things that are similar, things that have context, and then from that context you'll be able to actually provide some kind of useful responses. I'm being told it's very much time for me to pay attention to the cat. But I think we've made good progress tonight, so I think it might be a good kind of wrapping up point. Yeah, we've made good progress. We've learned how to connect using the Twitch lib. So we learned that all of our issues stem from there being a lot of documentation and not really knowing which of the documentations to follow. But we muddled through it slowly and got there. So we've made our client. It connects through Twitch. It's got an account, all that good stuff. And then we've connected in our OpenAI client, and we've been able to now pass through messages from chat, give responses, and we've also given it the ability to summarize its responses when its responses are too large. Cool. Alright, well, what we'll do now is we'll say goodnight to the bot again. And what I'm going to do is add all of this to Git repository. I'm going to add a new git ignore file. That's good. Try to add that git. Add this to an initial commit. And what I think we're going to do now is we'll go set up a repo and we will go publish this code so that everyone can see it. So let's go new repository. That's me. And we will call this OpenAI Twitch bot. Spell that right? I'm getting tired. It has been a long day. There we go. OpenAI Twitch bot. So, and what I should do. Let's quickly. No, I'll do it later. But what we should do is these endpoints, the chat name, environmental variable name, and the connected channel should all be config. So we should all have config set into a config file that can be then provided to give those details so you don't have to recompile the application every time you want to use it. That's okay, that is a thing. We don't want to do that for the moment. So I will create that repository and then we will grab this and we will paste that and we will shift that up. And we have object and debug files. That's not what I wanted. That's fine. Remove object. Cool, and now we are cleaning up. Just make sure that. Cool. All right, so that should be everything that's needed. Now I'll build. I'll go and generate those. Are they in my git ignore? Should be. So yep, I can see that my source control hasn't changed anything there. Still got all these warnings about delegates and stuff that can be dealt with later. And we will add a readme file. And we'll just commit that for the moment. down. So I think what I'm to do next time is I need to clean up some of the config, so essentially extract some of the stuff out into config so that we can make it usable for everyone else easily. I need to do some more documentation on the README to explain how it interacts with the OpenAI segment here. And then think about some other things that we can make it do, which will be interesting. Oh, I think that's a new follow. Thank you, Whiskey, for the follow. Yep, so normally I stream Monday nights. So I'm Australian, I'm in Melbourne, Australia. So I stream from 8 PM to 11. Pretty much the goal is every Monday night. And then during the week, when I have time, like tonight I had time, I'll jump on and work on AI stuff. So the Monday night streams are more kind of base level DevOpsy stuff. So we've been building a Blazor app. We've got that app deployed into Azure. We have the infrastructure set up as infrastructure as code. And that's all then being deployed up into Azure. The app's being deployed as a container into Azure, and it's all running. And last time we did an integration with the identity platform for .NET. So we've got a database where we can set people's username, passwords. It's encrypted, and we'll be eventually setting it up to use like Gmail and Microsoft identity. So that we don't even have to store any of the passwords at all. Also, if anyone is interested, I will post the link to the YouTube channel where I am pasting all of my VODs. Just get that up. So all of the VODs get kind of copied and downloaded from Twitch and copied into YouTube. Exchange and AAD, yep. They're parts of DevOps at times. I certainly do things that interact with the two. The identity platform that I'm talking with definitely does. Like, we're hoping to use AAD as one of the sources for identity, which shows how you could go to an organization and set up identity in an app. So yeah, that YouTube channel is where I post all the VODs from my Twitch streams. So I hope everyone has had a great night. If you want to hang around, I will be finding someone to raid, so send everyone over there. Mostly still within the software development. It might be one of the game devs that I follow. So, but thank you all for joining, and I hope you all have a great evening.
But still got crumb in it, right? Real nice. A little bit denser at the bottom, which is exactly what I want, and it's perfect for gigantic sandwiches. And I didn't need it on sandwiches. I just ate the shit out of it. Yeah, I cut right through the middle.